Okay. I'll delete. I'm waiting for everybody to come in. We got some things to talk about. Well, I can drop it in there. I don't have to do that. He ain't got no music playing. I can't wait to have my music back. That's something. Go to my jazz playlist. Explain to me. Okay, well, I was gonna play some music, but we hit the minute mark. What's up, you guys? Welcome back. This is just gonna be an update short channel. I don't know if I can see my viewers. I don't know. Child, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm just ready to get back to StreamYard. But let's chat. I want to talk about a case that just happened today. We're gonna talk about Romika a bit. We're gonna talk about Nazaria Harris. There's some information about her. So we're going to go ahead and go with ladies first, and then we're going to go ahead and jump into some information. Now, I'm not sure who the content creator was, but I was watching a content creator who did come out and say that they were having, people were starting to have some reservations about the security guard. And basically, that, they feel like they have questions because they want to know, why you didn't call 911 when you know this young lady had these things going on. What was the deal, right? But it is hitting social media attention. I went on social media yesterday, and there are people still talking about it, especially on TikTok. There's a little information here and there on Instagram, and there's a lot of information on Facebook and especially YouTube. So this case is being a major playing key part. Now, they also are saying, that basically, that they believe there was a female security guard who saw a little bit more than anybody else. Now, I want you guys to know there are some threats going on with certain creators when this story comes. Big Keys ain't the only one. And I feel like if it's nothing to worry about, why there's so much threats, I said this before. There's a TikToker. She said there's some threats going on. So when I get more information on it, y'all know I'm going to come through with it. But that's the information I'm going to give. I'm not going to give everything else. But those are the things that people are looking at. And it starts to make people question some things, especially the security guard. And I kind of agree, because if you saw it, why you just didn't call 911? You know what I'm saying? Like, why was there not nothing said? But we still going to go on and go for justice. I'm going to try to get more into this story now that we are over a little bit more of the Brene case, but I do want to get more into it. All right, now let me take that down. There has been some breaking updates about Nazaria Harris. Months, right? I know. Child is court trial is coming. So from what I'm understanding, Jarvis Butts is taking it to trial. We all know that, right? He decided to take it to trial. But from the information that they saying, that there is, hey Terry, there are some people coming out saying, hey, listen, it might be true about Shannon. Now, y'all remember in early October, they did pick up Shannon kids and remove them from the home. They are removed. The little girl, Shannon's daughter, has been coming out saying things, and people are alleging that, the child that she did have belonged to Mr. Jarvis. That's just what I heard, okay? And she had Nazaria Harris' phone. Now, y'all know it's a lot of information coming out, and it's a lot of victims coming out saying, hey, this man did this to me. Yes, it's a lot of them coming out They're saying it. They're saying that he did it, but then also they saying that now that he is in there, baby, he is talking. They saying he is talking. They saying he is doing a lot of talking, honey. Hold on, let me go to it. They saying that he is talking. It's some other stuff. I want y'all to hear this. This was a couple of days ago.
Concerning these circumstances is that police also believe that they have a motive. Here's a little bit of Naziah's aunt Shannon testifying about some of that.
Can you kind of describe the relationship between Naziah and
y'all remember this?
Should be just the uncle and the niece relationship, no more than that.
And to fast forward, on January 21st of 2000.
Now they're saying that Shannon knew about some of this stuff because Shannon shared the same phone as Naziah at one point in time when she gave birth to her child. She had Naziah's phone. They were sharing the same phone around that time.
24.
Officer Gardner came to pick up Naziah's tablet. My mom asked me, looked inside to this tablet. So the first thing I went to was Instagram, which I was scrolling. And I seen Jarvis Butt's Instagram page. I clicked on his page, and I seen 2 messages.
Were the messages of a sexual nature?
No.
Okay.
It was 2 sent pictures, but you can't really make anything out. It wasn't nothing there, but it was a picture was sent.
What happened with Naziah Harris? Now, the last thing I want to point out concerning the...
Now, hold on, let me go down because she talked more about it. Does she? No.
Circumstances.
Okay,
is
so
that
let me turn
police
it down.
also believe that they have a...
That I mentioned on 9/16 were there, and then there was the door. The no one was getting in that bitch. It was there's 4 officers guarding that door. Like no one was allowed in, no family. And I'm gonna tell you guys this. I watched. Okay, nobody was in that courtroom besides Monster Butts, his defense attorneys, and the state. Okay, I sat right there. There's a side door room. I watched the first victim come out. It was Miss JB. Okay, she was tall. She was wearing box braids. She had a mask on. She was skinny. She went first. Okay, she was in there for about 40 minutes, and then she came out and went right back in that side room. She had 2 ladies with her. Support. They look like support. For help or whatever. And then boom, here comes another little girl, teenager, mask on. Don't know who she is. And remember, there was said to be 1 witness, maybe 2, on the 16th. The 8th, when they had the conference for Janiyah. Mm-hmm. So then she comes out, and, where I'm sitting on the bench, and, I'm waiting, and then, boom, another little white teenage girl comes out the side door. Okay, guys. And then she's in there. Both those 2 last witnesses were in there for maybe about 20 minutes.
I'm not sure how many victims he do have. I know it has got more than just 1. And and then you have the murder, unaliving. Let me see if I sent that to me. No, I didn't. It was one TikToker I saw last night. He talked about it. And he was saying that it is confirmed that basically that they believe that he is talking, and he believed that he is talking about Shannon. I don't know what that means. Wait, what? They didn't find Naziah. Some people are saying they found her, but they didn't. That's the day they found her coat and stuff. Shannon had lost a lot of weight, y'all. She looked old. Shannon looks disheveled. Baby, y'all can go look it up. Shannon don't look like Shannon. Okay, here he go.
Case. Jarvis Butts is taking it to trial. He did not cop a plea. Now, word in the jail is that Jarvis is talking, and he's been talking. And Jarvis is telling on any and everybody that has something to do with this. Now, if you've been following this case, many of us believe that even if Jarvis did unalive Naziah, he didn't do it alone. Most of us believe that Shannon played a part in it. Whether she's the one that unalived Naziah or Shannon just simply helped with getting rid of her body. Many of us believe that Shannon had more of a reason to get rid of Naziah than anybody else. Now, the court date has been set for February the 23rd, 2026, and they're going to, all of his cases pertaining to these kids and the SA charges, they're going to run them all together. They're going to deal with them all as one. No matter what you may think about Jarvis Butts, Jarvis Butts won't be coming home from prison for a long time.
At all. At all. He will not be coming from prison at all.
Here's the latest update in what is known so far about the case involving 13-year-old Naziah Harris from Detroit, Michigan, and the suspect Jarvis Ramon Butts. So here are some key updates that I found out about the case. So Jarvis Ramon Butts, which is 42, is charged with the murder of Naziah Harris, who disappeared in January 2024 after getting off her school bus in Detroit. Her body has not been found. On September 26, 2025, Butts was charged with additional actual assault charges, and first-degree criminal actual conduct, and second-degree criminal actual conduct involving an 8-year-old child from June 2021 to June 2022 at an auto repair shop in Detroit. Then, on October 8th, 2025, Butts appeared via Zoom in court for the 2021-2022 actual assault case. The preliminary hearing was scheduled for October 22nd. His murder trial for the Harris case has been postponed to February 2026. Investigative reporting shows that in 2022, a complaint flagged that Butts may have inappropriately touched Naziah and another child, but the Detroit Police Department did not follow up on Naziah's name in the report. The department has since acknowledged they could have done better. Now, this is what we still don't know. We don't know the location of Naziah Harris's remains. It's still unknown. Despite the murder charge, nobody has been recovered. The full involvement of the other people, if there is any, but we know, in the disappearance/murder, it's unclear. Some community.
Now, if it's unclear and they take this to trial, it might be some indictments coming, y'all.
The discussion suggests potential others who may have had knowledge, but no additional charges have been publicly confirmed beyond Butts. The timeline of events and how the 2022 report might have prevented the tragedy remain under scrutiny. The fact that the DPD did not act on the 2022 complaint is a major concern. We do not know whether the actual assault charges and the murder charges will be handled together or separately, nor the exact trial strategy for the February 2026 date. But we all have our own opinions. We all have our own thoughts about this, but justice for Naziah Harris. Hey guys.
All right, so that is another update as well. Everybody's been looking for updates and things of that nature of what's going on, and it hasn't had any, which is crazy.
Jarvis is officially going to be charged with Janiyah Harris. So on this form, it's saying that
hold on, we're gonna let
he's officially being charged with saying a female relative who we all know has to be one of his daughters is either Juju or Janiyah. And from what it looks like, the dates between June 16, 2021 and June 16th of 2022, that would coincide with the dates that
But it does coincide with the
Brooklyn
dates. Okay.
testified on this.
So, did I put Kata? I don't know if my picture show Kata, because we got to talk about Kata too. Yes, I did. And we're going to talk about Kata in a minute. But yeah, that's the update. It's not been that many update of like really what is really going on. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. And I know they stopped the story because it was so much going on. They did balloon release. They've had things when they talked to the young girls. It's just been a lot with this case. And I remember for a whole year, it was just crazy. Crazy. So we praying for justice. No, they have not found her body yet. I don't know why people going around saying they did and they didn't. No, they have not. They have not found her body. And I wish they would, because I really want her family to get closure. All right, let's talk about Kata. I haven't got any more information about the teen mom, so I'm going to try and see what I can find on that. Now, I'm moving the wrong one. Hold on. Okay, so with Kata Scott, there's been some updates. Let me type it in and give it to y'all, because I got another one I want to talk about that just came out, and it's a lot. So Kata Scott, they have an update. First, I want to say they laid her to rest 2 days ago, y'all. They had a beautiful farewell for her and things of that nature. They went ahead and, laid her to rest. It's just very, very sad what happened to her. It was public for the public. I want to say that. It was due to the public in Philadelphia. They are, let me make sure, still investigating something.
Update. I'm getting ready to play this.
And I'm going to let a content creator say some things. And they have they have some things about the murder for hire. Remember, we talked about that, but they're still looking for that. And then they say that Gabby is telling everything, so we're going to listen to that too.
Purposes only.
$1,500. Also listed on that paperwork as a delivery driver is Keon's cousin. Allegedly, there's a co-worker that works at the same place Kata worked at, whose PayPal account is under investigation by police because they sent money to Taz's landscaping business just days before Kata went missing. Can you guess the amount? $3,500. Also, allegedly, there are workers who didn't come back to work after Kata went missing. A co-worker also came out and said they heard Kata on the phone telling somebody, "I'm not helping you guys cover anymore." Now, are there higher-ups involved? Did you know the place where Kata worked is under new management? Since she's passed away, the old manager didn't want no parts. A new witness has come out and stated
this is
that
all
the day Kata
alleged,
disappeared,
y'all.
they seen two cars following her, a sedan and then Keon's car. And they also stated that the license plate on one of the cars, the sedan to be precise, is a city contractor who did maintenance at the nursing home. Someone also posted a video of supposedly Kata in the car talking to somebody, and she said, I'm tired of being scared, and I'm tired of always looking over my shoulder. If anything happens to me, check my notes. They'll know exactly who did it. That video happened.
Okay, that's a reader, but we gonna go to this. Okay, so this person was saying how Gabby tells it, Gabby friends is telling it all. She was friends. She said if she was messing around with him, why would he need to talk to Gabby where she lived? He probably only saw her at work, especially since they don't have cameras in the parking lot. Maybe she didn't let him know where she lived since she had a boyfriend already. We don't know if she was actually hooking up with him or getting recreational from him. Where would they meet up? Or whatever they met up for. Okay? So we're going to play it.
And in the affidavit. So I'm going to include this clip from the live that she recorded a few days ago, but I didn't include it in my previous video, so I'm going to include it.
I did that. They said, you know some if your friend knows some. On my dead mom, I do not know anything. I only know what my friend told me, which is what I made a TikTok about and what I told the cops.
Okay, pause. It says Keon called Gabby to ask about Kata. Gabby called Dee to tell her because she knew her best friend either was and is blanked out with him. So I guess she was dealing with him. I guess they're trying to say Gabby was dealing with him or liked him, and then things happen. Because how did you know her every move? Shout out to the internet, because police wouldn't have this much info. Let's hit play. This is Gabby.
I don't know where nothing is. I don't know nothing,
Her
y'all.
friend. Gabby friend.
Literally, I already put out there. Thank you. Thank you. This comment right here. I want to pin this. How can I pin it? Oh, I can't pin it. But yes, the girl Big Tiz 27, yes, I already put out there what I know. I don't know anything more than what I said, which is besides him asking my friend. He asked my best friend, where did Kata live? Was she a nice girl? Like, was she a cool person? And that was all I remember her telling me. He asked her. Then after, like, I had called my best friend because, as I said before, she's not in Philly. So I had called her and I was like, yo, like, did you hear about the girl that's missing in Philly? And she was like, what girl? And I was like, the girl Kata, the one that lived around the corner from you. And then she was like, that's when she told me, whatever. And then Elliot told her, he told her, don't tell anyone that he asked about her. Then when she told me that, I told her that, you need to tell somebody. And then I informed my parents, my aunt, and, I told what I knew, which was that, what my friend told me. I told her off rip, you need to tell. She like, I'm scared. And I'm like, what are you scared of? She's like, oh. I told her I was telling. I said, I'm not sitting here. I'm not keeping, like, this is something that's really big. And if this was me, I wouldn't help. And I told her, if this was me, you wouldn't help. And she literally told me that it's not me. So me and her not even cool no more. And I'm still trying to help because this is not right. I don't feel like it's right. I don't feel like it's... They said, why you on here and knock on the cops? I already called the cops and spoke to the cops before. And I'm just on here answering y'all questions because what y'all not about to do is be on my TikTok page sitting here trying to say I did something or accuse me of stuff that I didn't do. That's why I'm on live right now. I was not dating him. I did not know him. My friend was friends with him. We hung out before with him a couple of times, but I personally was not really close to him. He was my friend's friend.
Names that are mentioned in the affidavit.
All right, y'all.
So I'm going to include this clip.
Okay, y'all.
Okay, so that is some of the update we have. I'm going to keep looking into it, and we're going to get into that. But before I go, I do want to talk about this story that happened in Lakeland, Florida. Very sad. Let me post a picture. I hate when I do that. Give me a minute, y'all. Okay. This just happened in Florida. So this is Rex, the young 14-year-old that got killed in 2008. Let me get a bigger picture. This is Rex, and that is his brother. Now, remember, this happened in 2018. I'm sorry, not 2008. 2018. Rex was 14 years old. The one in the blue is Rex, his brother. And we're finna get into the story. Let me go to the article and I'm going to read it to you. This is very sad. They did a press conference today. I'm going to let y'all listen to the press conference. So his murder just got served today. And it is his brother that unalived him, his oldest brother. So it says November 10th, 2025. This is 2 days ago, but we're going to talk about it. After more than 7 years of they did a press conference today because yesterday was holiday, of unanswered questions, Lakeland Police Department detectives have made an arrest in the 2018 murder of 14-year-old Rex Honors V. According to Lakeland Police Department officials, cold case investigators recently took a fresh look at the case, using advancing in technology along with new interviews. Detectives were able to identify a suspect and make arrests, bringing long-awaited closure to the Honors family. The homicide happened on July 3rd, 2018 at approximately 4:22 a.m. Lakeland police officers responded to a suspicious accident at 845 West Crawford Street. An older brother, who was 21 years old at the time, told officers he arrived home and could not locate his younger brother. Officers searched the property and located 14-year-old Rex Honors, deceased, in the backyard. At the time of the murder, Tampa Patch News reported that sliding glass on the back door was open. When he walked outside, he found the teen dead in the yard, and family members at the time told Patch the boy had been shot. Tampa Patch also reported that Rex had just completed 7th grade at Southwest Middle School and was remembered as a strong student who excelled in math and was known for his constant smile. The school posted publicly that they were deeply saddened by the tragic death of our student, noting the students and staff were heartbroken. Friends and community members shared similar sentiments. Tampa Patch quoted former daycare teacher Tiffany Main, who recalled the teen's personality and childhood humor. "I still can't believe that this sweet boy's life was cut so short by the hands of someone else," she said at the time. Lakeland police said advanced the identity of the arrested suspect pending formal court proceedings. A press conference is held to provide additional details. So the press conference was today, and I am going to play that for y'all. Let me go and get this played. It was his older brother who did it.
And thank you for coming this morning. My name is Sam Taylor. I'm the Chief of Police of the Lakeland Police Department, and we're here today to give you some additional information on an arrest that we made on a homicide that occurred in 2018. To my right and your left are some of the folks and some of our detectives that worked on the case. Gary Gross will be the main speaker. He'll speak after me, and then after that we'll make Mom wants to say a few words about her son, and then we'll take some questions after that. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. We're here to a young man, 14 years old, by the name of Rex Honors IV, was the victim of a homicide, and I'm going to let Detective Gross get into the details of it, and then at the very end we'll take some questions. But I think this highlights some of the effort that goes in, not only from the detectives that you see anywhere, or maybe that we're not working on, of thousands and thousands of bits of information and data that have to be extracted from phones and computers, and they have to be meticulously sorted through and gone through, and that's what was the crux of helping build the case and brings us to where we are today. And I hope that the family understands. I had an opportunity to meet with them before we came in here this morning and brief them up on some of the work that's been done behind the scenes. I hope this brings the mother a little bit of closure and an opportunity to let you know that we still care about Rex and your family. So with that, I'll turn it over to Gary Gross, and he can brief you up on the details. Gary? Okay, thank you.
So the chief started this cold case unit June of 2023. So I am a civilian investigator. I retired as a sworn law enforcement officer with 32 years of experience. And on this case, Detective Carden, who is sworn, assisted me on this case through every interview. Have to have that sworn component when we get into search warrants and everything else. So what I'm going to do today is take you through step by step on this case, and we're going to talk about what led us up to the arrest. And then afterwards, I'm going to have Mom come up and give a few words, and we'll open it up for any questions that you guys have from us. But first of all, I want to say that it's a little confusing on this case, so that you understand the arrest affidavit. I'm going to refer to the suspect as Rex Honors. He's Rex Honors III. Our victim is Rex Honors IV.
I'm
We're
sorry.
going to call him Stuffy. That's what the family calls him. That's what everybody knew.
I want to say Rex Honors IV. I would apologize for saying the fifth. Rex Honors IV, a.k.a. Stuffy.
by, so we're going to call him Stuffy, and you'll hear me refer to that as we go through this case. And so on July 3rd is when this murder occurred. Rex Saunders IV, Stuffy, was 14 years old, and his brother reported him missing at 4:22 a.m. That's a very important time, and I want you to remember that because I'm going to come back to that a few times throughout this press release. The LPD officers that responded to a report of a missing person searched the house, and they found Stuffy deceased in the backyard with some type of an injury to his forehead. He's laying in the grass. There's blood on his forehead. The autopsy that was done later on that day determined that he died of a single gunshot wound to the forehead. Now, detectives early on, they suspected that Rex Saunders III, the brother, was responsible for this, but at that time, as they worked this case, especially that day, they lacked enough evidence, probable cause, witness statements to move forward. And over the years, that case eventually became a cold case. The detectives retired and moved on. And back in 2018, I was the public information officer, and I remember this case. I did the press release on it, so it stood out in my mind, this 14-year-old that was killed, which is why we started working this case. Detective Carden and I jumped into this in May of this year, and we started working in cases. Now, what allowed us to move forward is advances in cell phone technology, digital forensics. There was 5 different cell phones in this case that we needed to look at. We wrote new search warrants for the cell phones and dove into that, and that's a lot of data to look at. We also conducted over 17 interviews and spent countless hours, I think around 800, and we're still working on this. Just because we made an arrest, we're still looking at other evidence that still needs to come in and work in this case. But to give you an idea, it's a little overwhelming on this cell phone how much digital evidence there is. Just on the suspect's cell phone, just his, there's 26,378 pieces of digital evidence that we looked at, which is, photos, videos, pictures, it's just a lot. The victim's phone, 28,338. And one of our witnesses' phones that we looked at, 17,886. That's over 72,000 pieces of digital evidence to look at. That's a lot to go through. But you got to look at each one, and you'll see why in a minute. One piece of digital evidence can make a case. And in this case, there's quite a few, but we'll go over some of those. Rex Saunders III was the suspect from day one. We learned he had been arrested in Albany, Georgia. He was arrested on August 16th. Now, they call it ag assault. If it was here in Florida, it'd be ag battery. Did he stab somebody?
Oh, wow.
But their language is a little different up there with law. But he's in jail for ag assault. He's still incarcerated at the Daugherty County Jail. We'd worked the case enough that we felt confident and the timing was right. We didn't want to go too early, but we now knew that we had enough information. We felt comfortable in talking to him. So we went up there on October 15th to interview him. During that interview, we got a full confession to what took place. Things that he told us that were law enforcement sensitive, that had never been released to the public before he knew. And only he would have known, being the suspect. So this is now what we know occurred. On the night of the murder, Stuffy, a witness and the suspect were at this house on Crawford Street where the murder occurred. They're just looking at social media, playing video games, hanging out as the night progressed. We do know from talking to this witness that they started fighting. And we're not sure why, but this fight escalated to the point where they broke that table you see there in photograph number 1. That was in the living room. That table was broke there in a fight, and this fight kept going. Now, this witness, he knew that there was a couple of different firearms in the house, and he was scared. He's 16 years old. So at this point, they're fighting so rough, he was scared. He left the house. He left on foot. He went a short distance down the driveway. Now, this driveway it's fairly long. In fact, there's a photograph of it right there. It's 256 feet. As soon as he got onto the road, he hears a gunshot go off, one gunshot. Now, he knew, in his heart, that Stuffy was shot, and he was scared to death. I understand he's 16 years old, doesn't know what to do. He just leaves on foot, and he gets the heck out of there. He believes that he was shot. So based on this evidence, a confession at this time, we now know the suspect was shot at close range, 2 to 4 inches away from the forehead. This is based on the image report. They found stippling, it's a gunpowder burn. We know that the suspect then picked him up under his arms in the bedroom, the northeast bedroom, dragged him out of the bedroom.
Oh, wow.
Down the hallway, through the living room where he stopped briefly, and then through the kitchen and out a sliding glass door out into the yard. Photograph number 3 there. I know it may be difficult to see, but when he took him outside, the grass was at least 4 to 5 feet high. And he dragged him through that grass, and he left him laying out in the grass. He then admitted, this is what he told us, only the detectives knew and the crime scene knew. The crime scene appeared to have been cleaned up. We know he admitted to this. He admitted to cleaning up the crime scene with rags, towels. He used some bleach. And then he said that he got rid of the guns, the 2 guns that were in the house, and all the bloody towels. He got rid of those at a nearby neighbor's house. He wouldn't tell us which one. He just said he threw it in the trash can somewhere down the road. He then makes a series of phone calls and what we think was an attempt to create an alibi. He first called girlfriend number 1, made several calls and attempts to reach her, and she realized this when she looked at her phone. She called him back at 3:48 in the morning. Remember, he didn't call the police until 4:22. She called him back at 3:48, and she said he was crying on the phone, and he said his brother was dead. This is before he called the police to report him missing. He would not have known his brother was deceased at 3:48 in the morning. He then made several phone calls to girlfriend number 2. And at 3:57 in the morning, he talked to her for 16 minutes, 30 seconds, and that ended at 4:13 in the morning, pretty close to when he called 911 to report his brother missing. She said he was out of breath. She thought that stuck out in her mind. She thought that was strange. And he said he was looking for his brother. He said he got to the house. He said, it's not broken into. There's no broken glass. Oh, there he is. And then he hangs up. She doesn't know why he hangs up. She's not real sure what happened, but this is what he's telling her at that time in the morning. Again, when he hangs up, that would have been 4:13 prior to him calling the police department. This would have been 9 minutes before he called the police department. And, it's what he didn't tell her as well. And that was when he walked in the house, there was visible signs. You would have seen the blood. He didn't tell her anything about any blood. He didn't tell her that. He just hung up. Another piece of evidence in this case was next door at let's say at a nearby house. There was a house that had installed the day before a surveillance camera. The day before this camera was put in, and this camera captures the suspect talking on his phone, and he's in a panic. Now, I can demonstrate this. The phone, as you see, it's lit up, and he's going up and down. He's in a panic, frantic mode. He's just going crazy with this. And he's calling. It's the exact same time you see on the video. You see him call girlfriend number 1, and then you see number 2. You see him on the video with the phone going up and down, talking to these 2 individuals. So that was captured as well. Rex Honors III suggested to the police and others on social media while he's here at the police department and early that morning that possibly a burglary had occurred. We know that's incorrect. That's a false statement to mislead the detectives and the police. And we know that because the jewelry, coins, everything that would normally be taken during a burglary was there. They said a burglary did not occur. So we know that was a lie. Again, and that was an attempt on his end to mislead the detectives. Throughout the morning, the suspect also sent several text messages that his brother had been shot in the head. And you got to ask yourself, well, how would he know this? The officer only knew that he had a wound to his forehead. He's laying in the grass. That information had never been shared with the public. It wasn't released in a press release. And they didn't know until that day around 1 o'clock when the autopsy was completed, the manner and cause of death, that he was shot once in the head. Only the person who did this would know, and that was Rex Honors III. In his first interview in 2018, when the detectives brought him down here and interviewed him, he denied having any firearms in the house. He had no knowledge of any weapons in that house on Crawford. However, one of those pieces of evidence, one of those 338 pieces of evidence we looked at, we found a video on the suspect's phone. That video was taken a little over 4 hours before the murder occurred, and it's him and the victim doing a rap video. Each one has a gun, and some of the lyrics in that video is, "You're fixing to die tonight." Now, that video was on July 2nd, like I said, a little over 4 hours, 10:54 p.m. before the murder occurred. It kind of foreshadows what was to come. The forensic examination of the witness's cell phone, who left at 3 a.m., the young man who was 16 years old, showed that he had tried to contact 27 different times family members. He's scared. Again, he's 16 years old. He just, he's not sure what to do. And those calls started around 3:41 in the morning. So when he heard that gunshot, again, he knew what had happened. He's just in a panic mode. We know that from the digital forensic evidence, the new evidence that we've looked at. And technology has changed so much. Our technical services unit, which we have some members up here today, what you can do today is going to change in 4 or 5 months from now. So a lot of this new evidence that we got was not accessible back in 2018. So we got a lot off these cell phones and the search warrants that we did. The original responding officer said he noticed a trail of blood throughout the house. The father who we talked to, who went back in after the crime scene unit had cleared the house and the police were gone, one of the first things he noticed was what appeared to be blood that was cleaned up in the bedroom, kitchen, and living room area. But in contrast, the suspect, when he called 911 to report his brother missing, who said he was in the house 10 minutes, never ever once mentioned to the dispatcher that he saw blood. And it's all throughout the house. But he did determine during that 10 minutes that he walked through the house that his brother wasn't there. He also told the dispatcher that little things that was kind of strange, like he noticed a pizza box on the floor. He noticed his brother's shirt. But all the lights are on. He told the dispatcher when he went in the house, all the lights are on. He should have seen that blood. It was right there in front of him. He never once mentioned to the dispatcher that blood was throughout the house. Honor said he tried to call the victim. False statement. We know from the forensic exam now, the digital evidence that we got, there's no evidence on his phone that he tried to call Stuffy. There's no evidence on Stuffy's phone that the victim tried to call him. That's another attempt for him to mislead the police in this investigation. So in summary, here's what we know happened. Honors admitted to shooting a victim from a standing point. During the interview up in Georgia, we said, show us. He stood up in the interview. He said he turned his head, he didn't look, he closed his eyes, and he said he shot the victim from about 6 feet away. And he demonstrated that during the interview. He's the only one who would know this information. Again, remember I told you the autopsy report said he was shot once. Well, the ME and the detectives are the only ones that had the information that that bullet went in here and it exited the base of the skull, a downward trajectory. So when the victim, when the suspect gave us his statement, he said he was standing near the doorway, he turned his head, he shot, and he said the victim was on the bed, a downward trajectory. Only he would have known that, and that matched up with what the medical examiner had told us. So one last thing I'd like to mention is it kind of helped us through this case. You know, there's a lot to go through, a little over 800 hours. And I told the mother this and the family as well. And we do this on every case. And especially on this case, when you walk in the cold case office, we put a picture of Stuffy up on the wall so that we can see that every day. Every day we know our purpose. We're motivated to keep moving this case forward. And we know that just because this case is solved, that it's not going to erase the pain, you know, that the family has, but it does give some closure and allows, you know, Stuffy to have a voice and to be remembered. So at this point, I'm going to have the mother come up and ask her if she wants to give a few words about Stuffy. When she's done, then I'll open it up for any questions that you have, and then I'll turn it back over to the chief of police. But Mom, would you like to come up here and give a few words on Stuffy? If you can. If not, it's okay, but if you'd like to come up. It's all right. It's okay.
My name is Antoinette. Stuffy was only 14. He was a normal child. He loved school. He loved sports. He didn't deserve it. All I want to know is why you did it to my son. He didn't even get to live his life. All he did every day is smile. He was a good kid. He was a normal 14-year-old child what kids do. He didn't bother nobody. He wasn't in the streets. He wasn't in no type of games. He didn't do nothing. He just had to go to school and have fun.
All right, y'all.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, his own brother did that to him. His brother, his 21-year-old brother at the time, unalived him. Stuffy would have been 21 years old. The 16-year-old is 23. And his brother is close to his 30s, sorry. The fact that he did that to him, and I remember hearing about this, and you know, I still have family and friends in Florida, especially everywhere in Florida, and it was never solved. I remember hearing the mama just go every day. Like she was just, you know, she just wanted justice for her baby. That's all that lady wanted. That's all she wanted. And the fact that to hear his brother that's supposed to protect him did this to him hurts her even worse. The family still, going through, they still, y'all, it's, they still like, they got to do a lot of healing with this. It's hard. It's very hard. I send my love and prayers to the mother. Nobody deserved that. He was only 14, y'all. So I'm gonna end it here. Any more updates, I will let y'all know. And I will be back around 2:30. At 2:30, we're gonna go with our mommy content. Please pray for all families involved at this moment. We have to understand when they get ready to go to court and do this, they have to relive this. And it's really not, something they want to do. But hey, I want to thank you guys for watching. We get to like, comment, share, subscribe.